One night, the Lord appeared to me in a vision and he asked me this: if I gave you the ability to do anything for me right now, what would you do? Without an ounce of hesitation, I responded like, Lord, if I could, I would supernaturally synchronize every radio airwave to one channel. Command DJs throughout the nations to keep playing your heart until the station of every mind is in tune with yours. And while bobbing my head to the rhythm of your spirit, I would shear off the wool of 1 billion sheep and knit a quilt of grace to blanket this cold world from hate and simultaneously change the definition of global warming. And as they lay their heads, in the dark of the night, I'd invade the Middle East, load my lungs with serenity, lullaby bullets of love into the minds of men which would assassinate the animosity as they sleep, so when they wake, they think their conflict was just a bad dream and realize that no one has to die to rest in peace. And since I be across the seas, I would visit every destitute child in every third world country, feed each one individually with so much faith today that they would have no choice but to save leftovers of hope for tomorrow. And the day after, I'd look up and say, God, I know you've been underappreciated by those who keep you overworked. So you definitely have a heart for those who have been underestimated because they're overlooked, who can't understand why they can't afford to acquire self-esteem in a culture where looks are overpriced. I would stand in the gap and ask for your permission to die, just so I can go to heaven to borrow your eyes, to lend them to the downtrodden for them to use every time they look into a mirror, so they only see your staggering beauty that you see when you behold them. My God, if you can, give me the opportunity to do these things. I just want to show the world the love that you've shown me. I want every human being to accidentally walk into your hood wearing the wrong colors, so that you can bang on their hearts with love and show them your signs and wonders before your peace blows them away. I pray that your glorious majesty forces them to keep their hands raised, making it more convenient for you to elegantly rob them of their sorrow and pain. But before I could finish my next sentence, he interrupted me with a type of silence that would make whispers sound like screams. I said, I'll do anything you ask. Name the task. State the price. I'm ready. And then he calmly asked, when have I ever withheld the pouring of myself upon you? Never. Even as I speak, your countenance helplessly drips of the fragrance of my love. But you want to wait until you get your budget together before you travel across the world to spread it, when right here in this very room, neither your children nor wife can even remember the last time you said it. You have next door neighbors that you see daily, but they've never heard you mention my name. But I guess that all changes when someone puts you on a plane and flies you out to Hope's house to spit poetry on a stage. Son, listen. Son, listen, I need you to understand that I cherish your desires. But why are you so eager to get your Christopher Columbus on? You're so desperate to circle the earth when your whole perception of the world is flat out wrong. And then he asked, do you trust me? I said, I do. I trust you with my life, with every breath that I take. He said, okay, now, as long as that remains the same, whenever you are, wherever you are, it is never a mistake. That means your school, your job, your home, where you stand, sit, or lay is where I had you strategically placed. Do not be dismayed. I'm not giving you an excuse to be lazy. I'm providing you with a reason to believe me, believe it or not. I want to use you to reach the world, and I plan to show you how. But you've been so obsessed with trying to do something amazing there and then that you've neglected here and now. And then I woke up, put on this shirt and these pants, and came to this very stage just to tell you and me that we, through Christ, will do extraordinary things. But never let your relationship with God, church, family, or community to become a floor mat for your quote-unquote opportunities. Take advantage of your current situation and location. You may not have a record deal, but you are already signed in the Lamb's book of life. You may have yet to clothe an orphan in Somalia, but you can tell a child on your block that Jesus loves them and watch them put on a smile like a sweater on the coldest winter night. Why? Allow your purpose to become fossilized. But let this poem become the archaeologist that brushes the dust off your destiny. But I know you got to be patient because it's not quite your time. And that may be true, but God is preparing you with what you have right before your eyes. Can't you see? While some are putting in work on the mission fields of India, we could get it in across the streets, but without even mentioning the streets, I promise you, even as I speak, there is someone right here, right now, who is desperately in need. Someone is hurting. Someone's bitter, someone's bound and needs to be set free right here, right now. There are bodies that need to be healed, minds that need to be renewed, and souls that may only know the love of God through someone named you. So of course, there will always be people 7,000 miles away who are seeking for a touch, but there may be someone sitting right next to you who would give anything for a hug. Just a hug. We must embrace the beauty of the instantaneous. It's simple. I mean, for real, let's stop being so bougie. If you see someone say, how you doing, it's not going to kill you. The same way we have a God in heaven whom before we'll all one day bow, but you don't have to wait for the rapture to get caught up in his presence. You can do it right here, right now. So say, do, and be everything that he has called you to be. No matter how crazy that sounds. Because why would you wait for there and then when you can begin right here, right now? Super grateful for the invitation. They said I could do one more poem, so I'm going to do that and I'll get out your way. I know I don't have a lot of time. I'm grateful for the invitation. Your pastors, I love them. You know what? You guys have a reputation. I'm in LA and y'all got a reputation of the most loving people that call themselves Christians. Like, when I run into somebody that's just like super, super sweet and God loving, I'm like, you go to Hope's house, huh? We could be anywhere, you go to Hope's house, huh? Yeah, I go to Hope's house. We must always remember that you know, I love what the pastor was saying right before then. Sometimes we can make, we forget that we're in spiritual warfare. And a lot of times, the very people that cause us to be turned away from the church, we make them enemies when we forget that there are spirits in operation behind this stuff. I know I'm Nigerian. We talk about spirits a lot, but it's real. In America, spirits do exist. It's all through the scripture, so I'm not going to ignore it. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. You are not my enemy. I don't have beef with you. I have beef with the demon that's making you act like that, though. But all right. All right. This piece, I'm so serious. This piece helps us to get a glimpse into the other side and just remembering where we stand in this war. Dear man, from the beginning of time, I fought against your innocence. So the fact that you keep falling into the same sins that you've been trying to avoid is no coincidence. I've assigned demons to rigorously study each and every one of you since birth, so we know what your weakness is. Our strength is made perfect in your weaknesses now. Before I go any further, I want you to understand that I hate you. But the main purpose of me having this conversation is to show you how much I appreciate you. So, thank you. Because your generation has generated so much hope for me. It's pathetic yet impressive. So please continue with your carelessness. See, you don't even have to worship me because I'm the only being that you can make your God without even being aware of it. So by default, I win. If you're not in him, it's not even a contest. See, when you don't serve the God that's right, I'm the only God that's left. Therefore, there's no need to discriminate. I've even come to eliminate him, he's, her, she's. Kisses from me are sweeter than pieces of chocolate droplets. So, Adam, Eve, take and eat. Your disobedience is so sexy to me. I have a fetish for hypocrites, the way you go from right to wrong, from light to dark. That turns me on like a switch, because you switch when you walk. So justify him and justify sins. You're already condemned, and just allow me to cause you to pass the rock of your salvation, which brings deliverance to your soul. Now you can never blame me. See, I just gave you an assist. You took yourself to the hole every day. I replicate a reversed Halloween. But my potential costumes are made of flesh and blood, with a spirit that is breathed and a will that is free. I see billions of costumes now. Who should I be? About the perfect guy you'd like to meet. Kind of rough or kind of sweet, with a pair of hurricane eyes that'll shatter the levees of your heart and sweep you off your feet. But instead of a ring, I'll just hand you a leash and treat you like the female dog that you are to me. Or I can come in a miniskirt with heels, because I know you like this, guys, but sometimes that is my disguise. I'm a terrorist of the eye, the way I hijack your mind and make you blind to what's right. I have you so enticed that you might just cheat on your wife, or better yet, die for me. See, when you put truth under this bed, you'll always lie with me. No lie. In the end, nobody wins. That's why we end up with our souls tied. See, I have used mankind to become the greatest diversion that mankind has ever seen. See, I never look like the problem. Once I make the problem look like human beings. See, if sisters have strife with sisters and brothers could fight their brothers, I have the victory, because you end up with nations of wounded families, but an unscarred enemy, and it tickles me. See, I patented segregation. So the separation of the brethren is just an extension of that invention. So no matter how many children are born into God's kingdom, I make sure they all see sections. Sometimes things are not always as bad as they seem. I want you to pretend that hell is like a beautiful dream, like a blind date with darkness, because love won't be seen, but you will be constantly embraced by undying flames until excruciating pain will seem like relief. But wait. No, wait. There's been a glitch in my plans that some of you may call grace. Because despite my flowery displays of affection, my showering with bouquets of temptation, how come when one rose, everything changed? It was that Christ, over 2,000 years ago, I manipulated and perverted men to capture that innocent lamb, to torture and murder him, because I knew that once the only hope of humanity was dead, I would wear upon my head the glory of omnipotence as my crown. For I, ruler of darkness, prince of the air, could only rise when the sun was down. But he flipped the script on me. Because the very thing I was trying to use to bind you forever, he turned around and used it to set you free. It's like they MC hammered those nails in his wrist. I'm disgusted because the blood that covers believers is too legit. So when you commit, your spirit scream, can't touch this. He is a reckless romantic. He would put his entire kingdom on hold to hold you. Why would an impeccable God be so desperate to make a flawed and broken creature whole? You don't even have the slightest clue how much he adores you. That's why I'm deceiving men and distracting them from seeing him. Yes, I'm always planning to bring calamity, to magic trick you into thinking that he vanished. But no matter what happens, he always finds a way to breathe a peace upon you that passeth my understanding. Of course, your Lord has already conquered me. Why do you think these weapons I formed against you are not prospering? I am dead meat. That's why I have beef with you. You that believe, and you know he's crushing my head, but I've barely bruised his feet, so day and night I approach his throne with accusations of you. But despite my efforts, he never sees you as trash, but instead as a treasure. He has made his grace so environmentally friendly. The way he embraces humans with his arms shaped like blue bins is beyond stupid. It's unusual. Despite how filthy and damaged you are, he still desires to recycle, aka renew you, to use you again. His heart is like an internet address bar. He's constantly conducting worldwide searches for lives that will allow him to clear their history and give them new sight, for they are spiritually blind. But I've had enough, because it's completely irrational. It just doesn't make sense why he loves you so much. Why does he long for your arrival like a child does December 25th? You tread upon his mercy with an attitude like Scrooge, but he sits and lets it pass, and yet is willing to take you back like the ghost of Christmas past. It's foolish, but I'm running out of time. This clock is like a bomb. It's ticking away, and those of you that don't watch it will watch it blow up in their face. Now brisk are the movement of my feet. I don't play. Research the synonym of insomniac and replace it with my name. I'm awake and I work and I work and I go with no breaks, and I go with no breaks. Plus I'm drunk with road rage, and the only thing that stands in my way is this dead end route called hell. So let's crash and burn together forever. Please, please, I beg you, don't surrender to him. Though he said, I have life, if you spell devil backwards, at least you have lived. I would give you the world in exchange for your soul. So please, satisfy my soul need. If the sky were the limit for your souls, I would reach. But thank your God that my sky has a ceiling called the soles of your feet.